Just
late.
keep letting them say late.
Late.
You know, there's a lot of adults in there just going, late.
It's true.
Late.
I mean, just calling it out, right? You know, if I'm late to my job, you know, then I get reprimanded.
Technically, everybody here's our boss.
It's true.
We've got more bosses than anybody.
That's accurate, yeah.
I like when they tell us we suck, too.
Yeah,
God forbid.
the performance reviews are, you know, sometimes very
tough.
scathing.
Those are a little
like,
too
if this
honest.
person could just like stop being that person, that'd be great. They're like, Tom, if you just had like a complete personality change, it'd be great.
Change your voice.
Yep.
Change your jokes.
Yep.
Change the way you talk about football.
Yep.
And then maybe people would subscribe to you.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, baby. We here.
Well, stay.
You in the right direction. Welcome to another edition of the Grossi Perna Show. I'm Tom Grossi.
Don't ever do that again.
That's Brandon Perna. And this is GPS.
And
Get
the
it.
S stands for sacked. You got sacked, Harbaugh. Everybody's getting sacked. Sack those coaches.
Todd Bowles.
Except for Todd.
Zach Taylor. And the Colts front office. But everybody else.
Hey, I'm going to give the Colts a pass there. Rest of them, sorry. I mean, I do.
All right, this is going to be
if you're saying that's
information. I love how we just talked at the exact same time. No, you can go first, please.
No, I'm good.
I pooped solid for the first time in a week yesterday. It was real. I literally looked, I was like, oh, it was really nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I was going to preface it that too much information, but yeah, that's good. Yeah, I was telling Perna, hi, everybody. I had an allergic reaction on Monday. That was super fun. My first real meal back, but we're alive. We're kicking. John Harbaugh was fired yesterday, and that I was late to that. You had a live stream before I had a reaction video out. That's how you know I was late.
I know.
That's how you know. When Perna's breaking news.
When I can get in that live and somebody's like, you actually beat Tom. And I was like, oh my God, I did?
I literally didn't know until 40 minutes after it happened because like I was doing a million other things. And then I was like, oh, let me just check my phone. And there you go.
Dude, I wouldn't have known either. I was literally playing Barbies with Carmi. We were playing Barbie. I was like, you know what? I grinded through the morning. I was like, I was really productive. Carmi's like, will you play Barbie? I was like, as soon as I finish. And then she was yelling down the vent, Dad, can you play Barbie yet? And I was like, you know what? I can. I've got 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then Will texted me. He's like, did you see Harbaugh's out? And I was like, fuck, no. And then I'm distracted. I'm playing, but I'm thinking about, oh God, I got to go do this Harbaugh video.
Yeah.
But Barbie's it was fun. It's pretty tight. We're on a camping trip. You know, we got the Barbie camper van.
Very nice.
Carmi has all the rules that change every time. So every time I think I understand what we're supposed to do, she's like, Dad, they don't do that. I'm like, all right.
Idiot.
Wonderful.
Yeah. You don't know the rules of Barbie?
Yeah. Speaking of Barbie, Harbaugh last few years really operated like a Ken doll out there, huh, guys? Like a Ken doll?
Because
no dick? I mean, just like a statue?
He didn't have a penis?
Yeah, Harbaugh famously no penis.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got Ken doll.
Yeah, I want to talk about, so we're going to rank all these head coaching vacancies because it's always interesting as soon as a head coach is fired, right? There are usually like two camps, right? It's like, oh my God, thank God this has happened. Or like, okay, this just needed to happen. But then there's a whole bunch of other teams that are like, can he be our new head coach now? And I feel like you saw a whole lot of that yesterday from opposing teams that were like, oh, John Harbaugh is gone. We will happily take John Harbaugh. And immediately, I think he became one of, if not the most, like the hottest free agent, right, in this coaching cycle.
Yeah.
Like, he's got to be pretty damn high up there. He was one of the longest tenured coaches in the NFL. He was hired in 2008 by the Ravens.
Yeah, it's wild.
18 freaking years, as the Ravens head coach. That's a long ass time. Of course, won a Super Bowl. And I do think it was time for the Ravens just to like part ways. There was a weird season and it's been, but I think ultimately a bunch of teams very happy he is now unemployed.
Any child born the year John Harbaugh was hired by the Ravens can now legally buy cigarettes,
Yeah.
Yeah. Get yourself a pack of the GPS cigs.
Nope.
Kids.
Don't sell those.
I even posted the John Harbaugh live stream on the GPS podcast, Tom.
Oh.
You know how people probably clicked on it going, oh, Brandon and Tom are going to be here.
Just you, though?
It was just me. Luckily, we don't get a lot of feedback on Spotify, so I don't know if people liked it or not. But just a reminder, we are in podcast form. So if you just want to listen to us, you can.
Or just Perna.
That. And then I was like, I should have checked with Tom to see if he was cool with it. And then I was like, you know what? We don't really give a fuck about the pod. So let me just see what happens. And I'll check the analytics.
You don't make any money off that podcast. It literally is just like people are like, can you make this into a podcast? And then like years later, we were like, okay. And then here
you have to be 21 for cigarettes? No, it's 18, right?
Back in my day, it was 18.
Back in my day, they handed you a pack when you turned 10. Right as they sent you off to war.
I was about to say send you off to war too.
Yeah.
So I actually want to talk about Brian Flores for a hot second because I came across, there was a clip from Ryan Fitzpatrick. I don't know if you saw that from yesterday.
I did, but I didn't watch it.
So Fitzpatrick was like very, very candid. And of course, Fitzpatrick, he's been a QB for 12 different organizations.
Yeah.
Like he's played for a lot of different franchises. So he was there when Brian Flores was there for the Dolphins. And he was like very, very honest and open about this and was explaining how, that year, basically they gutted the entire Dolphins roster, right? That was like that tank for Tua year. And he said, for a while, Flores was actually like very relatable and like approachable. And like, it was actually pretty good. Like he was very hard on the players, but he was bringing the best out of these guys. But then like when he was bringing in all these like assistant guys from New England, where he like got his start, his quote, Fitzpatrick, he became a dictator.
Yeah.
And was just like, and he burned a ton of bridges and like he did not get along well. So he anticipates that, as more time goes on between when Flores was in Miami and, he left, because he left Miami with a lot of burned bridges, lawsuits coming out of the league. And, there was talking about them wanting to tank and he didn't want it, all this stuff. Right. And I don't think the Dolphins owner is particularly good. But with Flores, Fitzpatrick was saying that during the interview process, he's probably going to come off as like very relatable. It was probably good that he went to Pittsburgh and learned under Tomlin. And then, of course, he's been doing what he's been doing with KOC in Minnesota. But they're like, if they ask for a reference for any of the guys that work under him or worked under him in Miami, it's probably going to not go very well. And so I am very curious because like his name has been popping up a whole bunch. Even with the Baltimore job, right? And like I've talked to a bunch of Ravens fans and they're like, we would really like Brian Flores. I'm curious if he's going to get that shot, and we see a lot of coaches in this league who get second and third and fourth and fifth chances who probably shouldn't. And I wonder if Brian Flores is going to be one of those coaches who's going to get that opportunity.
Yeah, that'll be kind of fascinating to watch because he kind of put himself in the same situation as we watched play out with Josh McDaniels after it didn't work out here in Denver with Josh McDaniels. And after Josh left, like that became the story about Josh. Like he wasn't relatable to any of the players. Like it was like Champ Bailey was like, yeah, he came in and demanded respect without actually earning it from anyone in the locker room. And I think it was a little bit different with how it shook out with Brian Flores. But if you've done that once, if you're an organization, you have to ask, did he learn from this? Is he going to approach the job differently?
Sure.
Or is he going to revert back to that guy who is hard to work with? And that tends to be something that happens more with defensive coaches too. And I think it's just how they come up into the league, through the league, or on that side of the ball. It's like a different mentality, I think, of playing defense, of coaching defense. And I think you can relate to defenses, but all that shit that came out with Tua and him texting Tua that he sucked or whatever, like, I don't think Lamar Jackson and Brian Flores, I don't think that's a good fit unless Brian Flores is an easy guy to work with.
Yeah.
And I mean, after Harbaugh was fired, that was like the things that started coming out, right? Like Harbaugh and Lamar weren't getting along. And then Harbaugh's side of it was like, no, Harbaugh and Lamar got along, but Lamar didn't get along with Todd Monken, and Harbaugh didn't want to move on from Monken and like all that. Like, who knows what's true? It's probably a little bit of all that.
Zach Orr. There is that. Also, Murph, it's not the end all be all. Make sure you go and actually read their documentation, because if they're a legal nonprofit in the United States, they have to produce that documentation. So just make sure you read it and see where the money's actually being spent. But it is a good resource.
One of what I'm trying to get on Charity Navigator is, of course, Fuck the Refs Coffee, where 100% of the proceeds do go to fucking the refs. They keep asking for the proof, and I'm like, well, I can't actually show you that happening because it's
you mean
explicit, but you know,
I see. Is your TV on? I see I see the flashes in
your, right back there.
Yeah, it's on the other side, but yes,
right back there.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
right back there.
Yeah, you pointed.
Yeah. No, that's a visual effect I've added to the podcast.
It really adds to the ambiance. I feel like it's just going to be interesting because there is so much. Oh my God, the NFL is very incestuous in terms of like who they hire, and it's about who you know and all that. And I am curious because if they start making reference calls like Fitzpatrick was alluding to, and they start calling some of the staff members from Miami, when Flores was there, is that going to be enough to potentially knock him? Because you have to give him credit, man. I mean, what he's been able to do in Minnesota, that defense it's the second best defense in points allowed. And that's how they finished the regular season. And they had a really, really nice stretch. Dallas Turner, like he's really developed really well. I know I was worried when they drafted him, but he's had a really nice season. So I'm curious, if he's going to be getting that head coaching shot, and if so, where he would potentially go. Giggity, Zach Taylor's up there. I mean, I know Bengals fans are upset about that. I think he already had a built-in excuse though, because Joe Burrow was out for the majority of the season. So I feel like, they're going to kind of lean on that, and that's why. Todd Bowles, and I saw that the last thing I saw about Todd Bowles was that he had a press conference and was like, I think I've earned the right to be here because I've won the division so many years in a row.
Sure.
I think it's just
you got it. I mean, you got to believe you deserve to be there if you're
gotta fight for your job. Absolutely.
He wouldn't be like, you know what? They should can my ass.
What, guys? I get it.
Like, dear God, I'm the only thing preventing this organization from succeeding.
Yeah.
That'd be a funny sketch. A brutally honest coach on his exit interview.
Guys, I have no idea what I was doing at all.
My coordinators carried me for 6 years, and I've finally been exposed for the fraud I am.
That's Bill O'Brien as a GM.
I just took the job so I could watch the guys shower in the locker room. Kindle, John Harbaugh.
We were doing so well. You're just like, nope. Can the Niners borrow Greenlaw to get Big Dom kicked out? I mean, Greenlaw's not doing anything this week, right? I mean, the Broncos got a bye. They're chilling. You just hop on over to Philadelphia real quick.
No, sorry. You cannot borrow Greenlaw because he's nursing his hamstring injury, first off.
You don't have to do much.
That was the joke I put in for power rankings. It was like I think every Niners linebacker that was on their starting roster has been injured, is injured, and that includes their former linebackers, guys like Dre Greenlaw. Greenlaw needs the rest. And no, you cannot have him back. But there are a lot of 49ers fans rooting for Hufanga and Greenlaw.
Sure.
They're not really referencing McGlinchey when they say they're rooting for their former guys, but he's been very good for us. And they're like, we will root for them to win a Super Bowl. But my question is, what if the Broncos play the Niners in the Super Bowl? Are you rooting for Greenlaw and Hufanga because you love them that much, or are you still pulling for the Niners?
I don't think that I think they're going to pull for their
Come on,
team.
root for
Right?
my
I'm going to
guys.
make a healthy assumption here,
Root
an
for my
educated
guys.
guess. So, well,
I've
Necro,
never
when you
tried
open
to
this guy,
Zen.
you never know what you're going to see. You know, Brandon's going to be talking about peeping coaches or cigarettes. You know.
Smoke them if you got them.
There you go.
I'm kidding. I don't smoke. You guys know that.
Oh, now we're gonna be honest. And now that's not, you did try a cigarette, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I've tried them. Tastes like
just
ass.
Yeah,
we ass.
Yes. Yes, we're gonna rank. Do you want to jump into the rankings now? Because I figured that was gonna take a good chunk of the episode. Because was there? Oh, Eberflus got fired from the Cowboys. So I know Cowboys fans are absolutely
Kingsbury.
News.
Kingsbury.
Yep. Yeah, Kingsbury got fired too. Imagine after all this, like the Cardinals, they fired Gannon, and it's like, oh man, they just bring Kingsbury back.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see. Just bring back Cliff Kingsbury, man. It worked out so well last time.
Back to the Cardinals.
Yeah, just go right back to the Cardinals. It's fine. It'll be interesting, Todd.
Yeah, I mean, because Kingsbury, he's leaving, and he'll get interviewed for some of the head coaching spots. And then I heard basically there was Dan Quinn wasn't sold on the direction of the offense in terms of the style of offense Cliff Kingsbury runs, is what I was reading. Who knows what's true? It's like he wanted him to tool it to be more of a NFL pro style offense versus, his college mashup of the air raid or whatever the fuck Kingsbury runs. And if that's true about Dan Quinn, it's like, why, if you were going to have that philosophical impasse, why did you even bring in Kingsbury to start with? If from the get-go, so when coaches are fired, you get all this information and you just never know what's actually true. And I think Kingsbury's a little tricky. I think a lot of us thought he would be going to Washington to set himself up for a head coaching opportunity anyway, when he first went there. But then he had so much success with Jaden Daniels in his rookie season that it felt like a really good marriage. And then this year, if you're looking at the Commanders' problems, it's not their style of offense. It's just that Jaden got hurt and he couldn't stay on the field. Mm-hmm. So who knows what's true there? But I hope it's just more so Kingsbury's going to take this opportunity versus Dan Quinn's I don't like your offense anymore.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's also because, again, as soon as coaches get let go, there's lots of stuff that comes out before and after. But there was apparently some stories that players were not very happy because Jaden Daniels really liked Cliff Kingsbury and So again, we'll kind of see what direction they go. I mean, the Commanders were a mess, man, for a multitude of reasons this year, including injuries. But I do wonder who they are going to try and tap for that. And speaking of offensive coordinators, and this is no shock to anybody, the Lions also fired Morton, which, yeah, I mean, it felt like he was fired when Dan Campbell took over, because then I don't know what he did in the building after that. So, yeah, no surprise there. You're right. All
right. I've got a better tier thing we can kind of use as a visual. It's not going to be perfect, but we'll try it.
There you go. Now we're talking. Kevin Patullo. There you go. That's who you want as your head coach, offensive.
Dude, what if the Eagles win the Super Bowl?
Do you think the Eagles would be Eagles fans would be the most miserable fan base to win another Super Bowl because that means that they're going to keep Kevin Patullo?
Yes.
It might be. It might be.
Like Eagles fans, I get why. They've seen a clear drop off in their offensive production, but they don't have it nearly as bad as like the Bengals right now. Like Joe Burrow said something like, "Yeah, there's some changes that need to be made and addressed," and the Bengals were like, "No, they don't."
Nope.
Now that we know you're alive, Joe, shut the fuck up and have fun trying to score 40 plus points every week.
Yeah. I mean, defense got better as the year went along near the end. That's nice, but
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, it's still not.
It did. It got a little bit better.
It did. It got better. I mean, they were like the worst statistically in the league for a bit. So, you really can once you hit rock bottom, it's only up from there.
Yeah.
That's
all right. Here we go. I got it now, baby.
Appreciate got that tier maker.
Presentation mode. All right. So
it's beautiful.
We're not going to have every coaching option on there, but we do have coaches. I've got the team.
Where are the Cardinals?
Forgot. Dude, every time I've been writing like which coaches got fired or whatever, the one team I cannot remember is the Cardinals. Which I think even Cardinals fans go, you know what? Fair enough. There we go. Cards.
There we go. That
actually, who?
You know what though? You remembered the Titans because last time you forgot them. So
remember the Titans. There's literally a movie called Remember the Titans, and it is about trying to remember that they are a football team.
Will Green Bay Chicago be as iconic as the 2010 NFC Championship game? No, but it's different. It's very, very different. I mean, I think it's also a proving ground. The Bears finishing as the 2 seed, and they're like, all right, we were able to do all this. And if that entire season just comes to a screeching halt and they lose, and it's the Packers, if it was any other team, I think Bears fans would be at least more accepting. But if it's the Packers who knock them out,
this is going to be a game. That's going to be a game, baby.
Could be a great day. So we'll see. All right. So first of all, can we do this from like top to bottom? Can we do our own personal rankings of which ones we think are the most attractive spots to go coach?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I think the Ravens are probably number one, right?
Yeah. I would say this is my ranking. I think the Browns are the worst. I think the Ravens are the best in terms of potential. Now, I think the Browns have a much better roster in place.
Sure.
At least on the defensive side of the ball, the Browns have a better roster than the Cardinals. But the Browns, they got a bunch of, I think like half of their offensive line is slated to be free agents. I'm going to bring that up. Let me look at the Browns.
Well, I think I don't disagree with you because the Cleveland Browns have some playmakers, right? But I think there's two things that are issues. One is like they don't know who their quarterback is going to be, right? Like there's not an established guy. And then two, and I think the biggest issue is your ownership, right? It's just because if you go and coach in Cleveland, that is going to be hanging over your head.
And
right?
three, Watson's cap hit is $80 million.
Oh yeah. So like
Deshaun Watson has an $80 million cap hit in 2026.
Yeah.
Dude, they got dead money.
It's not good.
They got $20 million in dead money for guys like Dalvin Tomlinson. They got $5 million to Juan Thornhill.
Yeah. It's just, again, I think that
they're paying Joe Flacco.
Are some guys on that roster where you're like, cool, like, yeah, I think they're really good players. Like, man, like there's some folks on that defense I love, but yeah, I don't know. Ownership wise, Deshaun Watson wise, lack of quarterback wise, it's going to be a tough place to go and coach with that in place. The Cardinals ownership is also not great. And they have a big question mark at quarterback as well, right? Because Kyler Murray, what the hell is going to go on with that? It seems like that tenure is done. And they are like, that's a big cap hit that they're going to take. And I don't know if they're going to really even be able to trade him, because I don't know what team is going to take on that contract, because
you know who
it's a
would?
pretty big contract.
The Browns, if they didn't have $80 million going to Deshaun Watson.
That would help.
Yeah. The Browns might have to start Deshaun Watson in 2026. Imagine that.
I mean, just to get something out of him, it's just, might as well. David Blau. I mean, the Lions do have a lot of former players on their roster, so if they think he's a good fit.
Yeah, he was a quarterback. Like a quarterback calling plays for you. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
I don't mind David Blow.
Can't be worse than what you had, in Morton. So,
and Morton wasn't terrible. Like the Lions offense was still pretty fucking good.
I mean,
it wasn't as good as it was with Ben Johnson. And late in the season, when Dan Campbell was calling plays, is when they had more issues. But it's not like they went from the best offense in the league to the worst.
So yeah, the Cardinals, I agree with that. I think they're down there. The Titans and Raiders, I might flip. Again, Titans ownership, meh. But you do have a franchise quarterback, or at least assumed a franchise quarterback in Cam Ward. I'm very high on Cam Ward. I think he had a good rookie season. So I think that is an attractive place to go coach, because you have him there, and then you can kind of rebuild the roster around him. And I think the Titans, if they draft well and they do well in free agency, they can be competitive relatively quickly. If they hit on some O-line picks, if they go get some receivers and give them some weapons, I think the Titans can be more competitive. The Raiders are interesting because I feel like that is, you have Brock Bowers, right? Great on offense. For the time being, you have Max Crosby.
If you're starting with your tight end,
I know.
Your offensive.
So these are guys who are going to be on the roster, right? You don't know about Max Crosby, but Ashton Genty, right? You're hoping that he's going to pick up. You are going to have you have the first overall pick in the draft, right? And you basically get to determine what the short-term future of the Raiders is going to look like. So I think that is in a very alluring spot. And dude, yeah, I mean, Harbaugh to Vegas makes a ton of sense, right? Because you want somebody to steer the ship. This is what you thought Pete Carroll was going to do. And he just wasn't the right fit, for the Raiders. Ownership, he got some questions there too. But yeah, I just don't know. Maybe you flip the Raiders and Titans, but I think you can make arguments for either, or I think you have maybe more flexibility when it comes to the Raiders, of just hey, you get the first overall pick and you get to determine who your guy is.
Yeah, I think if you're a head coach and you're hoping your head coach is going to be confident, but your head coach, you're confident in your ability to build and structure a team, and you're going in with the GM Spytek, right? Mm-hmm. Spytek's your general manager. They're keeping him. You got Brady in the mix there. So as that head coach, you really get to shape the team, and I think that's a little more appealing for a coach versus going to Tennessee, where they've decided on their quarterback. And that's not to say that somebody's not going to love to work with Cam Ward, because I think we all watched him and he's a baller. And if anybody was put in a worse situation this season than Cam Ward, I don't really know who it is. But the issue with the Titans has been the structure of their front office and their ownership with Amy Adams Strunk. Now, they finally made some clarity, right? Mike Borgonzi is now officially the GM, and they moved Chad Brinker to president of football operations. Before, they had this shared role and nobody really knew whose duty was what, but they have an official line of power there. And hopefully that clarity allows the Titans to function from a front office perspective as a normal football team. But if once they've got the Mike Borgonzi scheme in place, maybe everything else will trickle down. But I still think the Raiders are a little more appealing.
Trickle down works.
I
get you.
There's pieces on the Titans. There's pieces on the Titans defense, but And the Raiders, you got a lot of questions there. You got Max Crosby, who you could trade and bring in extra draft capital, but it's tough. You're splitting hairs between those two right now.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the argument. If Flores leaves, what happens to the defense? I mean, I think Dallas Turner is going to be a problem on that D-line for a while. But the Vikings, dude, like, they're in cap hell next year. Like, it is not fun. So, I mean, they're going to have to already restructure some things and potentially let some guys walk. So
how are they in cap hell with a rookie QB?
The Vikings are in an interesting place right now.
Yeah, they're 30 mil over right now.
Yeah, no, it is not fun. So
Chiefs are 43.
Yeah, imagine it gets a little worse.
Okay, and here's one thing about both the Titans and Raiders. Titans have 113 million in cap space. The Raiders 110 million in cap space.
There you go. You get to shop around.
Yeah. So you like if the Raiders do trade Max Crosby, that frees up more cap space. But the question is
like a good deal. I mean, it doesn't make any sense, man.
Which of those teams, though, you have all that cap space, but who's really going to want to play for either of those teams right now?
Unless you hire a coach where it's like, oh man, I want to go play for this coach, right? Yeah. And I think that's where the Raiders are going to have some flexibility as long as they're able to front the money and be like, hey, like, we're going to go pay. If they're like, hey, we are going to give John Harbaugh like an offer he can't refuse, that's going to potentially, I think, sway some folks maybe. And also they just throw money at folks. But
dude, Harbaugh with Mendoza on the Raiders, that makes too much sense. They're both they're both devoted to God, and I think Mendoza is exactly the kind of quarterback John Harbaugh wants to work with.
There you go. Was Flores wrong about Tua? It's not necessarily it being wrong about Tua. I think it's more just, again, listen to what Fitzpatrick is talking about. Like, he's burning bridges with like every staff member that's there, right? And if Fitzpatrick is literally calling him a dictator, and like Fitzpatrick's like,
he's pretty chill, guys.
He's a pretty chill guy, and he's on broadcast right now. So like that's a pretty big statement coming from like an active coach in the league. So yeah, I don't know about that, man. Like it's there, and the nice coach is failing. I mean, I think that's pretty subjective. No.
Your job as a coach is to get the most out of your quarterback. 100%. And you've got to figure out what motivates your quarterback, how he operates and functions with the head coach quarterback relationship. You can be right that Tua wasn't the guy, but immediately Mike McDaniel came in and got better production out of Tua.
Yeah.
Now, the results were about the same because what Brian Flores did was coach a very tough football team. The Dolphins were a gritty, tough football team when he was coaching, and it was surprising that they fired him because it felt like they were kind of figuring out how to win games and grind them out. And then we learned all this stuff not right after. It was like a year or two later when we really learned that what was going on behind the scenes there, when people probably felt comfortable talking about it.
Sure.
Now Flores with the right situation, with a quarterback who's thick-skinned and wants to be motivated by an asshole, like that's a marriage made in heaven. Brady and Belichick function that way. And we've seen Belichick can't function without Tom. But Tom was uniquely qualified to be in that type of environment. And and it took Tom about 20 years to really be like, that's enough of this.
Yeah, I'm done now. I think Clickbait's back tomorrow. We literally talk about it the day of.
We'll see tomorrow.
We should be. I think so.
So, all right.
Real quick. Sorry, I know that's good, but we only have a few teams to actually like pick coaches for. I don't think it's going to take that long. Falcons, I think, are a very attractive place to go coach right now because that defense definitely improved. The pass rush got better. It's really like Michael Penix. I feel like that evaluation period is still ongoing, right? Because like you want to see more of him, but they got some playmakers, man. Like obviously they have one of the best running backs in the league. I really like Drake London. We'll see what happens with Kyle Pitts, if they're going to just wind up moving on from him. But yeah, I think that is a place that you want to go play. I feel like they could use just like a young coach, and he would do like really well. Like a young, like offensive minded coach would do well in Atlanta.
Sure.
Giants, you have above the Falcons. It's true.
Yeah. Because with the Falcons, you still have quarterback questions, and it's not because I think Michael Penix can play QB in the NFL, but I don't know if he can stay healthy. Like that was a concern based on his multiple ACL tears coming out of college. It's going to be a concern as he's recovering from more knee surgeries now. That is an issue. The Giants, you've got a quarterback in Jackson Dart who I think everybody is high on. If you've watched him play, he's exciting. You got Malik Neighbors coming back from his injury. Cam Scadaboo was good. The Giants have attractive pieces.
I agree.
It's not, and they have, the 5th overall draft pick. So they have the ability to add an impact player right away. Yeah, so I think they're a little more attractive than Atlanta. Although the division in Atlanta will maybe a little more winnable. But
yeah.
The interesting thing too that we learned is that, and I don't know if this is spin from John Harbaugh's agent, but there was a team or multiple teams who currently have a head coach that called and were interested in seeing if Harbaugh would be interested in coaching for them. And I think the funniest thing that could happen at this point is there's a team out there right now with a head coach who fires their coach to bring in Harbaugh. I think a lot of people right away speculated that would be Miami, but like, is there a team that comes to mind that still has a head coach that would try and bring in Harbaugh?
Go Pega. Yeah. I mean, the Giants, I think, are a huge candidate for that. So
no, the Giants don't have a head coach. I'm saying a team that currently still has their head coach.
Oh, that would still want to bring in Harbaugh?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought you meant the Giants. Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, like I think a lot of these teams would love to bring in Harbaugh right now, just based off of experience. But yeah, I think there's I think there's plenty of teams that would like to still bring him in who currently have employment with their head coach. I mean, the Buccaneers, one of them, I mean, the Buccaneers want anybody but Todd Bowles right now, or Buccaneers fans.
Todd Bowles. Yeah. The Dolphins, Bowles, the Bucs, maybe. Who
Bengals
else would be on
like something different? The Jets.
I like the Bengals. That's funny.
The Jets are up there.
The Jets, well, the thing about the Jets is I think they're actually doing what they were supposed to, and that is actually just tank. I think they're gonna let Glenn try and build something, but yeah, I don't know, man. There's not a lot of options. Now the Ravens are the most attractive spot, and that is 99% because they have Lamar Jackson.
Oh, real quick, did you see that the Titans are interviewing Jason Garrett?
Yes, I did see that. That is that's funny.
I'm so sorry, Titans fans. I know it's just an interview.
Dude, the next Titans head coach is either Garrett or Mike McCarthy. Like,
I hope you get Mike McCarthy. I hope for your sake.
Is he better than Jason Garrett? I don't know.
I think so. Oh my God, I think so. I think a bit.
I don't know.
I think so. A little bit.
I think you just go, hey, Cam, who do you want to work with?
How about him?
Hey, Cam Ward, who do you want to work with?
Who do you want?
Yeah, all right. Matt Nagy's making the rounds.
Let's start off. Let's put some coaches in these spots here. Let's go with before Harbaugh was fired, one of the most popular names going around was Clint Kubiak, right? So the offensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks. I would say he was probably near the top, if not the top guy before Harbaugh was fired. in that he was going to be, I know he had interviews with the Giants.
Yes.
He's going to be called around. What spot do you think makes the most sense for him? Because I do think the Giants make sense. I think the Ravens can make sense, but I think the Falcons make a good amount as well. I think he'd be fun with the Falcons.
Yeah, I think the Falcons make sense. I don't know if Clint Kubiak's going to leave Seattle to go to the Falcons.
Yeah.
I think Clint Kubiak's top destination is the Ravens. I think his offense is a perfect fit for the Ravens. I think the Giants are going to be asking themselves, do we take a chance on a guy without the experience of head coaching like Kubiak, or do we go all in for Harbaugh and try and find, the next offensive coordinator to work under him? And we'll use Mike McDonald here for Clint Kubiak because it's Seattle. I think the Raiders are going to be... Well, the Raiders are also interviewing... another guy out there is Davis Webb, the Broncos quarterback coach. The Raiders, I believe, are interviewing Davis Webb. So you've got Kubiak as an offensive guy. You got Davis Webb as an offensive guy. And then you got John Harbaugh. And then you got Kevin Stefanski, offensive guy. And Harbaugh is not. Harbaugh's special teams, we don't know what the fuck Harbaugh's strength is. He's just... His strength is he was with the Ravens for 18 years. Does he know offense? Probably a little bit. Does he know defense? A little bit. But I think...
They want to know, Brandon. The people want to know. The voices are getting louder.
I'm ignoring it. I'm ignoring it.
Can't ignore it.
You know what to do. Okay. Oh, man.
So you think, again, I could see it's those top three teams for me that I think make the most sense. I could see the Ravens because he was on Kubiak did the Saints for a little bit, right? He was chilling with them for a little bit.
Yeah, he was last season.
So
when they had that hot start, we were like, holy shit, Clint Kubiak and Derek Carr, this is a match made in heaven.
Yeah, that's very fair. Yeah, I could see the Ravens.
And Clint Kubiak, just if you didn't draw the connection, his dad is John Elway. So coaching lineage makes a lot of sense there.
All right. Harbaugh.
I like Kubiak to the Ravens.
Okay.
Or I like Kevin Stefanski to the Ravens. I like a division shift. I like Stefanski makes sense in terms of he's an offensive guy. I don't think he was the problem in Cleveland. So we'll leave those two guys next to the Ravens, and we'll kind of adjust as we go through here. Let's get them all on the board if we can.
I feel like Stefanski would... Oh, man. I feel like Stefanski fits in a few different spots.
Maybe Stefanski to the Falcons.
I could see that. I can see it. Like, I think Stefanski and the Titans might do pretty well.
Ooh, yeah?
That would be hysterical. Lane Kiffin's just like, you know what, LSU? I'm actually going to go coach for the Cleveland Browns. Match made in heaven.
Stefanski with Cam Ward. I could see it.
Yeah. I could see it. I can see it.
I know. There's Cardinal fans out there. I'm just messing with you guys.
That's right, Ghost. Dozens.
The St. Louis Cardinals, we all love you.
Yeah. Because I think Stefanski does get a shot. I think he potentially gets a head coaching
Before
job.
Harbaugh was fired, it was like he's the top choice for a lot of teams.
He's around there with Kubiak. I could see him in the Falcons too. Yeah, Falcons and Titans are like probably my two top spots for him.
Yeah. Let's put Stefanski with the Falcons.
Gotcha.
I mean, I think you've got more upside with Cam Ward, but you got a better overall situation in Atlanta.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. Okay, so I think McCarthy for the Titans makes a lot of sense. If this is how it shakes out.
Yes.
Do we even have Mike McCarthy there?
No.
Okay, cool.
let's find who's our best Mike McCarthy fill-in here. Andy Reid. There we go.
Why, Brandon?
Because they're both older, hefty, white head coaches.
Got it. So
put a bag over their head, Tom, and I can't tell the difference between either coach.
Probably later tonight. Cardinals. Oh my God. All right. So then if you're the Giants.
Sometimes I do think about Andy Reid and Mike McCarthy just bumping uglies, you know? Let's see it.
Do you see Harbaugh to the Giants or the Raiders?
I mean, for comedic purposes, I want Raiders. I want both Harbaughs in the same division.
Honestly,
I think that's
amazing.
Nice. That's so nice.
It'd be amazing.
I
see him Giants more though.
I don't think Harbaugh is going to impress Brady or Spytek. That sounds kind of weird to say, right? Like, yeah, the Giants. It feels like a safe play for the Giants. It feels like John Mara would be like, yeah, I'll be praised if I land Harbaugh.
I would love the Harbaugh Bowl twice a year. I would. I think he makes sense there.
See, this is a domino though. I think Clint Kubiak would be interested in the Raiders, knowing he could draft a quarterback. But we don't know what
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah. But are the Raiders? Yeah, I don't know. Okay. So we'll put Kubiak with the Ravens, Harbaugh with the Giants, Stefanski with the Falcons. Those are probably the three hottest names this cycle, going to three of the most appealing spots.
You think Webb is going to get a head coaching job?
Based on the way this shakes out right here, I think he is the Raiders head coach.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it helped the defense a little bit. I think so.
Davis Webb, offensive guru. Here, we'll use Kellen Moore as Davis Webb.
Perfect. Okay.
Webb.
I'm gonna float something. If Brian Flores gets a job, Cleveland Browns. I want you to marinate on that for a second.
I think that makes sense.
If you could force Deshaun Watson to quit, can you get the money back?
Dude, if Flores took the Browns job and in 4 years we get leaked text messages of Brian Flores talking about how much he likes Deshaun Watson.
Brian Flores comes in, he's like, I'm a different guy from where I was in Miami. They're like, no, we want Miami Brian Flores.
Yeah.
We want you to run Deshaun Watson off this team.
Yeah.
You have a mission.
Yeah. Hey, this is actually a good question here. How the hell is Watson's contract still ongoing?
Because it's fully guaranteed.
And because the Browns have continued to push money back.
They restructured it.
I think they restructured twice for him. So that's why.
I'll pull it up. Because it was a 5-year, $230 million deal. So yeah, they restructured it. His cap hit is $80,716,514 next season. Yeah. So we'll drop in the pond. Then he's an unrestricted free agent in 2027, but the cap hit is still $25 million in 2027, then 16 in 2028, and then 7.9 in 2029.
Yeah.
So
have
fun.
It's a bad year.
See Atlanta.
Browns, Brian Flores. I like it.
For what? I don't know what they would hire Harbaugh for.
I'll just use Kevin O'Connell there, KOC as Browns, but that's Brian Flores. Okay.
Yeah.
Flores. I like that. I think it's a good call. Like, and you look at the Browns defense, right? Very good. You get a guy like Flores, going to turn that into an aggressive unit, get more out of that defense. I think Shedeur Sanders and Brian Flores is a nightmare. That's not a marriage made in heaven.
Oh yeah, no, I just want to see it.
I think the Browns are going to be in the QB market at some point. I don't know if they can afford to be in it this year.
But you know what? Cleveland's got a nice defense, though, man. Like, I think Flores could rock with a good defense.
Yeah.
Like, I think it'd be.
Oh, I know what I want for Cleveland, dude.
They take Harbaugh and then the Ravens take Stefanski.
No. I mean, that's been the joke. But I like Flores there. Give me Flores to the Browns.
They're just going to keep him.
They trade Dylan Gabriel. Okay. They trade Dylan Gabriel to, whoever kind of wants a young backup. They got Shedeur. They got Deshaun Watson. And then they signed Russell Wilson for a year. Give me a locker room with Shedeur Sanders, Deshaun Watson, and Russell Wilson, please. We thought Jameis and Russ was a weird combo.
Yeah.
Put him with Watson and Shedeur.
I think this is the hardest one is what the hell do the Cardinals do?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Who's available? Raheem Morris? Brian Daboll? Do you think Daboll or Morris
I was thinking
get actual shots at head coaches, or do you think I feel like Morris is going to take a defensive coordinating job? Daboll feels like he should be an OC somewhere. Here, the Giants hire Harbaugh and then bring back Daboll as their OC.
Hey, listen, I'll take him as a special teams coordinator. Why not? I mean, listen, I don't think anybody else right now. So,
who do we put? Oh, you got McCarthy at Titans, and they hired Daboll as their OC.
All right, I'm gonna give you a little. I don't know if he would go there, but he'd be able to be a head coach. What if the Cardinals hire Mike LaFleur? Right? Because he's the offensive coordinator for the Rams. I feel like he should be getting some calls. I mean, the Rams literally have like the number one passing attack. They have the number one scoring offense. Maybe he gets a call. Like, I feel like the Cardinals could give a guy who hasn't been a head coach a shot.
Yeah. Robert Saleh's out there as well.
Sure.
The Cardinals, they feel like they do. Do they want an offensive or defensive guy? That's the real question with Arizona. They just failed with the defensive guy. The Falcons just failed with the defensive guy.
I wish Matt Ryan luck, man. I like Matt Ryan.
I like LaFleur there.
Right? LaFleur, I think I don't know how active he's going to be during this hiring period. It just feels like the Cardinals are in a weird situation that because you're walking into a situation where you don't have an established quarterback, the roster needs some tending to, you're going to be dealing with an interesting owner. I just feel like their options are going to be somewhat limited, and they could use a good offensive-minded coach. So I could see a first-year guy getting a shot there for Arizona, and I feel like LaFleur kind of fits that bill a bit.
What if? Okay, I'll put LaFleur there. What if the Ravens hired Robert Saleh? Robert Saleh to the Ravens feels like a very good fit.
It feels like a good fit. I could see it.
Now, I think there's still questions about Saleh's viability as a head coach, but
yes,
the Jets got worse without Saleh. We know when he came back to San Francisco this year, he's coached up a unit. He's really done a hell of a job in terms of being a defensive coordinator who coached up an injured unit. We know the 49ers locker room was thrilled to have Robert Saleh back. He's beloved by his players. you would still need to find who he's bringing in for his offensive coordinator. But like, in terms of a guy people like playing for, Robert Saleh to the Ravens, and I know he might, is he getting interviewed by the Giants as well? I don't remember their official interviews. He makes sense for the Giants too.
And again, just going into the same building again would be a lot of fun. Hey guys.
Yeah.
He knows the commute.
I can buy my sublet back.
Yeah, he knows the commute. He knows the area.
Yeah. I don't know if he goes back to New York just because he was already in New York.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, I kind of love Saleh to the Ravens. How would Ravens fans feel about that?
I think he's a very good defensive coach. I think, yeah, the Jets did worse, but they're also the Jets. Like, I mean that.
Yeah.
Just realistically, I don't know.
Rodgers better with the Steelers this year. Saleh better with the Niners. Like, who the fuck hasn't been better when they left the Jets?
Yeah. I feel like because here's the thing. If you're Robert Saleh, you're not leaving San Francisco for another coordinator job, right? And like, he's a very good defensive coordinator. I think Jerry might still be a little bit out on being a head coach, but I think he's earned a lot of goodwill for what he's been able to do in San Francisco again. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
The Cleveland Browns are the one that's really tough. Like, if they give a shot, maybe Flores, but they also might be in the same position as the Cardinals, right? Where they're going to have to hire a guy who is a first-time head coach.
Yeah. That's tricky. The Cardinals, those three bottom teams are going to have to be creative. Now, and I like to give hope to, Tennessee and Arizona and Cleveland. Every year, one of the coaches we don't really focus on or talk about a lot turns out to be like a pretty damn good hire. I think Kevin O'Connell was one of the lesser talked about coaches when the Vikings got him.
Yep.
Who else has been working out? Even Mike McDaniel, when he went to the Dolphins, it was kind of like the last guy coming in to take that job. Oh yeah, the Jesse Minter. That's the Chargers defensive coordinator. He's going to get interviews as well.
Real quick,
Chris Shula, the Chris Shula is another name out there. We don't have him on the list there, but
if you're the Raiders, because like they're another one. Like, Webb is not a guy that I have really thought about. To be honest with you, do you think they go more defensively? Do they go defensive minded or do they go offensive?
The Raiders?
Yeah.
Oh, I think they bring offense. I think Tom Brady and Spytek, they're going to want to be on the same page with a coach who's going to develop their quarterback they're about to draft. And I think they don't want to go through the cyclical sort of nightmare of losing your offensive coordinator, because like if the Raiders hire a defensive head coach, they draft Mendoza and Mendoza plays out of his mind as a rookie, the hottest candidate for the next head coaching cycle is going to be the Raiders OC. Like, you go into that situation and you make your rookie look good, people will be like, we want that fuck on our team coaching our quarterback.
Yeah.
So yeah, Raiders could be in play for Clint Kubiak. What we don't know is, our team's going to are they going to regard Clint Kubiak more highly or Davis Webb in this interview cycle? And we don't know. And it's going to be up to those guys when they go in and interview. Kingsbury could make a little bit of sense for the Raiders, but
I could see that. I can see Kingsbury. I could see LaFleur. I know we talked about him with the Cards. I can even see him with the again, because they're ranked first in passing, 7th in rushing, and 1st in points. Like, I have to think that Mike LaFleur is going to at least get some calls.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be fat. And I feel like the dominoes are really going to start to fall when like Harbaugh gets hired, and then it's going to kind of start to be like that scramble.
Yeah. And to finish what I was saying, Mike McDonald for Seattle, amazing coach, was not the most highly regarded hiring in that cycle. Like a solid hiring. But we don't know. You never know, man. 2023. Who are they? You had Sean Payton, D'Amico Ryans. Yeah. D'Amico was pretty sought after.
Yeah. It's going to be really interesting this offseason. The teams that I'm probably the most interested in just to see what the hell they're going to do. The Cardinals are up there. Like, it's not just coaching. It's just how they sort through all of that is going to be a time. Raiders will be interesting. I think it's attractive just because, again, like we were talking about, like they have control over what that franchise is going to look like. It literally is a fresh slate.
Low expectations, fresh slate. You want that.
Man, if the Falcons nail that coaching hire, Falcons could be something next year. I hope, man. They've been like on that weird precipice, like they're getting there. It's just they got to put it all together right now. So Rivers to the Raiders. I mean, Rivers has been talking about. He's like, I think I can coach at this level. He's been saying it.
I would love to have Phil in the West again.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, it would. Doesn't it seem like Rivers needs to be a coordinator for a year or two first, though? Like,
I would assume so. He's going to have to go through and climb the ladder.
I know he's got he's got a domineering personality, so I get why he'd be thought of for head coach. But I mean, yeah, like he knows offense. Rivers I would love for Rivers to be in this cycle. Just like who?
Maybe it's not this year. I wonder when people are going to start calling on Matt Burke, the DC of the Texans, because he's been in the league for a hot minute. He's like done a bunch of different gigs as coordinator. I wonder when people are going to start giving a call and be like, hey, because that's how it goes, right? Like, I mean, like you're able to take these defenses and because he's been with Ryan since he's been there. So
yeah, and they've been competitive every year.
So we'll see. Perna, power rankings today?
Power rankings should be up in a couple hours.
There we go. I put out power rankings super late last night, so you can go and check that out. Today will be predictions. I recorded that last night. That's one of the reasons why I'm so tired. And then I should be getting scripted done today. I'll be working on that all day. So,
how much easier was predictions for you?
Say again?
How much easier was predictions for you?
Oh my God, dude. It was because it's funny because now power rankings was super long because it's 14 teams that you're ranking, right? So that was longer, but predictions to go from 16 games to 6, dude, next week is 4. We're in the end game now.
I know.
So, but folks, I appreciate the hell out of you. We will be back on Friday to preview all of those super wild card weekend games. But thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. This is GPS. And you have been navigated.
And you've reached your cigarettes.
You reached them?